to arrive, I'm gonna record the class. Okay, the class is being recorded. And while if you don't mind and you can and want to turn on your camera, I would really appreciate it. In the meantime, I'm gonna share my screen. Yes, I don't see anybody. Are you having your cameras on? Nobody has the camera on. I guess nobody has. Or are you viewed as a gallery? Yeah. Hello, can you turn on your cameras? Good. Thank you very much, Estefania. Thank you very much, Omar. Hello, hello. Okay. I'm going to share a portion of my screen. And well, while I'm sharing my screen, I'm also going to share the share sound. And while I'm sharing the sound, I'm going to share high quality fidelity audio. Okay. So you are here and then people is here. And then we can move on just a little bit. So while people is connecting, I was thinking that probably would be very interesting that if we also work, in addition to the piano, we also work with a couple of of drum percussions. So if you don't mind, right? While people is connecting, we have the Spitfire. So if you don't mind, please open the Spitfire audio. Please log in. And also look for some kind of drums. Maybe what about these free drums? Do we have another drums around here? Is people that work with here know another another audio files that could work for drums? I don't see. Is anybody around here working with this library that could recommend some kind of drums? Nobody? Okay, let's search for. Well, it seems that there is only drums. So I'm going to install these drums in the meantime. I'm going to change this folder to another location, which in my case is the audio lives. Okay. Okay, it's not loading. So how many people is connected right now? I have used it before. I haven't used it. Oh, before. Okay, no, okay, no drums. Okay, be careful with the amount of space that we are going to be working with, because you will have to reserve quite a lot of size for our work. Okay, could be a lot. Okay, in the meantime, is anybody here that wants to share that wants to share the assignment? So nobody here that feel comfortable with the music that you generate and you want to share it? Omar?
Yes, teacher. Well, I am not here in Zoom with the computer, but just a second. I am going to log in and share my screen.
Okay, maybe another person in the meantime? Hello?
I could do it, but I don't know how to share audio with Reaper.
Oh, I think that when you share everything with them, look, if you share, when you share your screen, a small icon will appear where you can share the audio that is going out to your from your speakers to the audience of Zoom. So you will be outputting whatever is in Reaper.
Okay, then just give me a second and I
Yes.
could share the homework. So now you can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see it.
And can you please tell me if you can hear this?
Yes, but we are hearing that through your speakers. Do you mind if you go to the small icon that it says the share screen? I cannot share it because and then you go maybe to advanced sharing options. No, not there. But if you go, no, not in Reaper, in Zoom.
Well, yes, the audio is being shared on Zoom.
Ah, okay, that's good. Okay, yeah. So okay, yes, we can hear that. Okay.
Then I think I need to change the preferences of audio on Reaper, right?
No, I don't think so. We
Well,
hear what
let's
you sent.
make a
Yes.
little test.
Okay.
Can you hear this?
Yes.
Then I guess I need to change the preferences on Reaper.
No, because we could hear, yeah. I mean, first, it's fine. Could you play something in Reaper? Oh, no, we cannot hear that. No, we cannot.
Let me check. I think it's this one.
Yes. The only problem is that you won't be able to hear what you're playing. Yes, we.
Could you hear that?
Yes.
Perfect. Well, the thing that I did for the homework is that I made two tasks, one for some harmony and one for the melody. Then also what I did is that I assigned different channels from the MIDI to different instruments. The first track, it has everything from the recording. This one has the harmony right here and the melody, because the melody is being played at one octave, and then it's an octave higher. And what I did is that I sent the melody to the soft piano and the harmony as well, and then I sent the higher melody to a music box, and this is working on the channel that has all of the instruments and with the channels that are working alone, because right now if I play this one,
Yeah, but we be careful. We are listening MIDI information. So you record the MIDI in Reaper?
yes, I recorded it, but I could run the code to make another composition with the same
Oh,
code. I
nice,
could
pretty
do
good.
that right now.
Yes,
It would
I
be
prefer
like
to
this.
do it through there.
Something is not working and I don't
I
know
think
what.
you haven't evaluated
Yes.
the MIDI init and that. Yes, that one and that one. Good.
Right now, the sound is coming through the 3 channels, and I'm going to switch it to the one that has all of it.
Okay. So you have, did you play at the same time? Yes, you have the task starting with composition melody and composition harmony, right?
Yes.
Okay, I guess we have to clap. It's pretty good. So guys, okay, it's pretty good. It's pretty interesting what you did. It's pretty good. That was the idea, and I think you achieved it really, really, really good. Anybody else? Otherwise,
Well, I can share now if you
okay.
want to.
Let's go ahead, Omar. Yes.
Can you see Reaper now? Yes, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, what I did is here I have the main melody in piano.
Be careful. You just need one. N where you have NOPQR. You just need one.
What do you mean?
You have declared M, N, O, P, Q, and R to the same MIDI device.
Okay.
You just need to have one. So remove NOPQR, and in all the places where you have NOPQR, you are gonna put an M.
Okay. Well, it's because I have three instruments, three different instruments.
You don't need
matter?
it. Yes,
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
Let's then. Well, let me just like this.
Yes, and then in the lines 38 and so on, where you have all of them, should be M.
Okay. Okay. Well, I found how to control the pedal with MIDI. So, well, let me explain while I'm just changing this. I have harmony, and I have, well, one type of harmony is through the violin, and another are chords from piano. The control change, I found that the soft pedal is number 67. And well, these are the the parameters in order to turn on and turn off the soft pedal, and that's it, I think.
Is the soft pedal working on in the virtual synthesizer?
Yes.
Okay, so can you run it?
Yeah, of course. Let me just here run first this line, and
Be
then
careful. You have a. Okay. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
No. Please go ahead.
Okay. And let me just put here Reaper and here. Can you hear it?
Can you go to the Reaper and do the same that Raul did? So which is sending. So in the options of Zoom, you should select that you are going to share audio.
Okay.
We cannot see that part of your screen because Zoom hides that for us. But if you go to the small bar from Zoom, in the options, you will, in the sharing options, you will see a small button that says share audio. Okay. Once that you
Okay.
share your audio, a new virtual audio device will appear on your computer, and you can share that. And then you on Reaper should place that you are gonna send us that audio.
Okay.
You don't need, I think you don't need to stop the sharing, but if you
Oh,
go to, no, don't worry, it's fine. If you go to the options, yes, view options, no. I cannot see it because you are sharing, but did you find it? Did you find the place where you have options?
options.
No, no, on the, not, no, on Zoom.
Ah, okay. Yes, I have. I guess I shared audio.
Okay, now yes, go to Reaper,
Reaper
go to options, I
options.
guess. Now I go, can you go a little bit down to see if preferences is there? No, it's not in, oh yeah, preferences. We go to audio, yeah. And then where you have the audio system, change audio system. Audio, no, on top where you have audio system, select, Zoom should appear there.
I think that no, teacher.
Are you should you share your audio virtual device? Did you type?
Let me just double check this. Okay, Zoom. Here it should be right.
We cannot see it. Zoom hides that option
Okay.
for us, so we cannot see that
Settings, audio. Here, right?
no. Let me see. Music show in mid options. Oh no. Can you go a little bit down? No, it's not there. It's in when you in the place where you select the stop share screen.
Yes, it says share audio from computer, right?
Yes.
I have just selected that option.
Okay, now on Reaper, a new audio device should appear.
Okay. Preferences, and then audio system. I think no, teacher. Is it this?
Okay, forget about that and just type play. Maybe you don't need it because it's Windows XP. Maybe I don't know. Can you close that and then just start to play?
Okay, let me just select this.
Yes, we can hear it.
Do you hear the cello and the melody?
With a lot of high quality coming through the microphone. Headphones. Yes, it's yes. Hear it. Recognize it. Different temperature.
So
Nice.
did you hear the cello? Yes, right?
Yes, we hear everything. I think so. How did
So,
you
well,
select the cello? How did you do that?
I just download as we just downloaded the drums. I just selected, I guess, 1 second. Here it says strings, and then I have just like package of strings.
Okay, and then you have the strings now.
The drums, the synth, and the strings and the cello.
Nice. Good. And how did you send it through different instruments?
Well, if you want, I can just show you the codes here. here it's about the melody, the piano melody. It's in channel 1. Then all the things regarding the cello and strings are on channel 2, and then I just selected the instrument in channel 2 here in Reaper, and that's it. Also, this cello has the control change about the soft pedal,
Nice.
and this is the chords from the piano, and that's all.
Good. Why are you sending twice the MIDI control channel 26764? The soft pedal, you are sending it twice. Why are you sending the pedal so?
Because I have here, well, these things I made it because I thought that was different things here, because one of the video out, but it should be only one.
I see. Okay, good. Excellent.
So yes, it's only one here, and one in and one out. But yes, so only one from that, and that's all.
Good. Excellent. Mar, really good.
Thank you, teacher. Let me just
Can-
stop sharing.
Can we see the last one? Maybe just the last one.
Well, I can share too if you
Okay.
want.
Please.
Okay, wait a second. And and you said the preferences are on Reaper, right?
Yes, but first of all, it seems that it's different if you are on Windows XP than Windows 10. Oh, you have the Zoom audio. That's fine. Yes. Good.
Okay, so I did with, well, can you tell me if you can hear it, first of all, before I start to talk and talk and talk? Wait a second.
Yes, we can.
So that was what I did. I used 3 tasks. First of all, for the piano melody, but first of all, I create a new scale because I realized that blues scale was not on the, well, on the defined parameters. So I create a new scale, which was with this. I found this. I put 2 octaves in order to have more dynamic range. And with the blues scale, I put the 4 chords of the A minor scale, all in the blue scale. And with that, I create the piano melody, the bass melody, and harmony. I put some question marks here because I was not sure that I was going to be able to do it, but everything was fine.
Good. Excellent. Okay. So can you put just a little bit more time the music?
Me?
Yes, just I want to hear it.
Okay. Wait a second.
Nice.
And that's it.
Good. Excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's do the following. Good. Is anybody else wants to share something? Not at all? You sure? No? Okay. Well, I will check some of them later, but in the meantime, let's try to move. Certainly, we are just learning how to use this type of techniques for becoming a composer of composers, right? However, clearly we are far away from having a music that sounds a little bit more attractive, right? So the first thing that I'm doing is trying to see, okay, now it's time for me to share. Are we recording? Yes, we are recording. Okay. Do we have, did you install the drums? Yes, not the problem installing the drums. I'm having problems installing my drums, and it's complaining. It's not installing the drums. You're not having any problem installing the drums. Okay, let's do this. I really apologize, but I think it's going to start to become very important for me to turn on your cameras. I don't see you. I don't have any feedback. I don't have anything in the chat. So I will ask you to turn on, everybody, your cameras. Okay, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm having a lot of problems installing the audio for some reason. Please let me know what's happening when you install the audio. Or should I need to have it in another folder? Do you know about this library? Do I need to have this in another folder?
I don't think so, because it already created you a folder when you downloaded the soft piano.
Yes, so I go here to the Spitfire Audio Lab. I select that one. I type download. And then it's trying to authorize the drums. And it's trying to get the audio. Do you have any problem doing this? Because it seems that I do have problems. It's trying to authorize and it's not authorizing anything at all.
I didn't have any trouble, Professor.
Okay. Come on, server, come on.
I mean, the same problem.
That is just waiting and taking a lot of time and then it crashes.
Yeah.
I'm going to close Reaper. Just wait a few minutes because it's downloading actually some temporal files. They are here. Oh, it was authorizing. It's unzipping. Okay, it's working, and now it's installed. Okay, it's installed. However, if I go to see my install ones, I don't have them.
Maybe try checking it on the interface on the virtual instrument on Reaper.
Yeah, but the problem is that if I go to labs and I go to not install, okay, it was called piano, right? It was called soft piano, isn't it? Now my pianos are here, but not my soft piano. Do you have both of them installed? Omar, do you manage to have many instruments, right?
Yes, teacher.
On the same folder?
Yes, I just reviewed here in the data sheet of Spitfire how to manage different MIDI instruments, and I found out that it's within the same folder. I think that when you download the Spitfire, this is just like a folder with all the downloads. So you need just to keep the folder in the same directory that the same computer gives you. So I think that that's why you are having problems with this download, because at the beginning I had the same problem because I just moved the folder to another directory.
Okay, but I'm putting both of them on the same directory. Let's check. A few seconds. Okay, well, while these download, let's go back to the things that are important for us. Okay, it's downloading. Yes, it's downloading. It is downloading. It is unzipping. And that's it. Yeah, now it's fine. Now I have both of them. Okay, now I have pianos and drums. Okay, now that I have pianos and drums, I can go to my Reaper. And then in my Reaper, I guess I can. This is scanning the VSTs. I bought this one a long time ago, but not this version. So I have to wait for having this still evaluating, and then I will open my files. Yeah, and this is my class tech. On this one, I'm just having this as a monitor, and then on this one, just as a monitor, and then I have here my piano. Okay, is working. Okay, and then I'm going to create a new file with the same. It's going to have I'm going to record this effect, and this effect it's going to have my drums. So I'm going to have this one. However, this preset is going to have the other, not the piano, but the drums.
You need to click right there.
And then I will go to my drums. Okay. And then I'm going to load it. Okay. And here we have the drums, right? And this is the simulator of the different values that I could have. So it's fine. I will have this one closed. And then I have here my drums, and I have here my I'm going to close this one. And then here, I'm going to set up this as a record. Whoa, 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 whoa. And this is disabled. And then I'm going to select as input just the MIDI port from Super Collider. Okay, that's it. Okay. Okay, now one important thing that I guess we have to do is that this one should be listening to channel 2, and this one should be listening only to channel 1. So I'm going to select this one only to listen on channel 1. And this one that we have here is going to be selecting MIDI, but it will be listening only to channel 2. Okay, are we all set? Are you around here? Yes, we should have here this. If you are on Windows and a Windows computer, you should also have your loop MIDI with a particular one. So, okay, now the point that is here. Today, we're going to talk about patterns. The people that took classes with me about patterns long time ago, we are going to refresh that, okay? The version that we had here was with a task. The task, as we saw last week, is a function that allows us to have a waiting time, okay? And because we have a waiting time, we could have an infinite loop, and inside the infinite loop, we can do something with a MIDI node. It seems okay, and it's fine. You did it fine, you did your assignment, and you learn a lot with that. However, today we're gonna be talking about patterns, okay? In order to talk about patterns, the ones that we are here, we're gonna talk about patterns, okay? I am assuming, as I mentioned the other day, that you have a little bit of notion about Super Collider. If you don't have it, instead of wasting a lot of time checking that, I will invite you to do the, where is my, I will invite you to check on YouTube about the Super Collider tutorial, as I mentioned the other class, and you can follow this guy, which is called Ellie Fieldstill, and you can get a little bit about the essence of that with him. Okay, I really recommend you to go through the units, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but we can go here to the patterns. If I do Apple D on the patterns, we will see that patterns allow us to encompass a lot of things here. Okay, so we can go, for example, to one of the patterns that we have here, and we can go, for example, to one of the materials that are on the examples. Let's go to this one that we have here, okay? And you will have to, first of all, understand that, okay, we can create a composition. I'm gonna create here a variable. Can you see all the things that I'm typing? Yes?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. I'm gonna create this, and here I'm gonna create a variable that is composition, okay? My composition will be equal to a p bind, okay? To a p bind. And we will see here in a little bit, what does a p bind means? Okay, if we go to the Apple D, it's gonna say that combines several value patterns to one event. We will go to that into a second, but we can again go to a small example that is here. Let's go to one of the examples that is here. Okay, for example, this one. I'm gonna graph this one that is here. Okay, no, this one not. I don't like this one. Okay, this p-bind is expecting an array. Okay, it's an array made of pairs. This is very important. This is an array, or actually we can forget about the array, and we can say a p-bind, okay? We can, here in p-bind, we can create, for example, a pairs of things. Like, for example, this is the instrument, okay? Instrument, and then you can select the name of the instrument. In order to do that, I will turn on my server, my audio server, the one that we have here, because one thing that we did the other days, it was this SynDef. Do you remember? We create this SynDef very quickly. Remember? And we managed to send a small noise here. And we also managed to make a noise. Can you hear it? Yes. And then we can hear another one here. So that means that we have created a SynDef called noise. Well, what happens if we create here and we create a noise here, okay? And we type a comma again, and then we can select parameters. For example, frec. I'm gonna bring my instrument here, that is this one, and then I'm gonna copy this one to here, okay? I'm gonna copy this one to here, okay? I'm gonna copy this one to here, and actually I'm gonna graph this one, these both things, and then I'm gonna create a new instrument, a new file here, okay? We have the instrument, and we have a composition, we have a variable that is assigned to that composition that is p-bind, and we have an instrument, noise. And which are the different parameters that we have here? We have frec and we have volume, okay? We don't have duration. That could be interesting, okay? Let's create a frec here. And then in the frec, we are gonna select, for example, a frequency 440. And then let's see what happens if we say duration, and then we select here, we select here, a P, okay, sequential, okay? For example, this one, P sequential, which is waiting for a list of values, 1 second, 2 seconds, 1 second. And how many times do you want to repeat this? I will say 3 times, okay? And then this should be fine as far as I can see, okay? Yes, and then we can say here, comma, and then here in the section that we have here, oh, I guess this was on the other file. I'm gonna select this one is coming through the p-bind, and then from the p-bind we close our, that's it. That's it. Yes, as far as I can see, this should be fine because the p-bind is finishing here. This one is finishing here. Okay, that's good. Which means that this is closing the p-bind and this is closing the composition. As far as I can see, this is fine. And then we have composition dot play. Let's cross fingers that this is working. I'm going to select it. And actually it's not working. Okay, instrument, noise, frequency 440, duration, it's a p-sec with 1 second, 2 seconds, 1 second, and 3 seconds, and that's it. I don't hear anything yet. Can you hear something in your code? Can you hear something in your codes?
No.
No.
What about this one? Let's select the test. And then let's select the, yeah, this one is working. The example that we have here is actually working. We have the SynDev with the test, the materials that we have here, okay? And then this one is working with the p-bind, and then we have the instrument, comma, the name of the instrument, comma, frec the frequency that we want, the values that we have, and then a duration that we have, okay? And then what is the problem here? What could be the problem here? I don't think so. I don't see any problem here. Let's go and check this one. Can you help me to check what could be the problem between this one, this example that we have here, and the example that we have, because this one that we have here is actually working. We have this one, and then we have this one is working, okay? Oh, I see the problem, okay? We have a small problem here. The volume, okay, it's a parameter that we haven't set up. If we haven't set up the parameter volume, it will be 0, and then the volume will be 0, okay? So let's type this one to be volume, and then in our volume, I'm gonna select a 0.1, for example, okay? And let's check this one. And that's it, it's working, okay? So what is exactly what we're doing in this audio version? This is called audio version. This is material from audio programming. Okay? Do you follow what I'm doing? No questions at all? You sure? No questions at all?
Teacher, I think I cannot play it. It says that there is some error here, but I cannot find it.
Are you sure you have your server on? Are your numbers here green?
It's in yellow.
Oh, if it's in yellow, that means that your server hasn't turned on. Can you go to the section in server and then type boot server?
Yeah, I did that, but wait, I think it's already green here. Just let me check. No, I think it's something about the code because it appears like error, command line, pairs failed.
Yeah, but first of all, we have to be sure that your lines here are green.
Okay. Yeah, right now they are green.
Green? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, just one second. Here I got this part, but I cannot see.
Oh, you are forgetting a comma in line 113.
This one?
At the end of that line, you need a comma because you are setting up a pair of elements, comma. Yes.
Okay.
Now, look, you are missing a parenthesis. It seems that you are missing a parenthesis.
Okay, I think
The play, be careful. If you do that, you are calling the play in your entire parenthesis thing, but you want to call the play in the composition parameter. That means that the dot play should be between both parentheses. You have two parentheses in line 115.
So it must be here.
Yes.
So I just run it from here or from here?
From all of it. Otherwise, you're going to have the same problem. Can you make your text a little bit bigger, please, with Control Add?
Control what?
Add the symbol for adding numbers.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Now let's check what is going on here. Instrument, frequency, duration, and volume. And then you are opening your parentheses in pbind and closes your and then you have play. What happened? Can you evaluate it again? Can you select all of that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it already sounds. I don't know what happened before.
Yes, you should select all the, you should, hey, be careful. Control C. Where is your code?
Yeah.
Control C.
I just deleted.
You should select all the section. Okay.
Okay.
So the easiest way to do is to no, you don't need to do it. Just double click in line 117. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Good. Anybody else with problems? No problems?
Me, teacher.
Who?
Me, Eduardo.
Eduardo, can you share your screen, please?
Yes, teacher. Here, I don't know.
Oh, remove the semicolon that you have on line 5 because it's a comma, not a semicolon. Yes. And then add a comma on line 53 because you don't have a comma.
Here
Yes.
and here not. No.
No, because it's the last one.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Yes. You have it working now? Yes.
Yes.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Nobody else? 1, 2, 3.
I think I found a problem, but I don't know.
Can you share your screen, please?
Yes, just I lost mouse. um, screen. Here it is. But if I want to run it, it says that there's an error.
You haven't, it says the scene def not found. It seems that the scene def noise hasn't been created. That means that you haven't evaluated from line 3 to line 9. No. Until line 6, from 3 to line 9. That yes, evaluate. Now you have a scene def in memory.
All right, so oh yeah, it's working now.
Good, excellent.
Thank you, teacher.
Yes. Somebody else? Anybody else? No? Okay, so I guess I can continue. Well, excellent. This is something that we did in Programación de Audio long time ago with some or in a similar software, like for example, MaxMSP or Pure Data in your audio programming class. This is the way for working with a synthesizer that you are creating. If we want to create MIDI things, okay? If we want to create MIDI things, we are gonna change this, okay? And then we are gonna use the same logic. This is a p-bind. Binding, do you know what does binding mean? A binding, when you go to the binding is engargolar, right? A binding, I guess, is something like that because when you bind a book, what you are doing is putting everything together. This function, p-bind, is going to start to put things together. It's going to put together by pairs, this one with this one with this one, this one with this one, and this one with this one, okay? That's why it's very important to have these as pairs. If I remove this value from here and then I evaluate this line, I'm going to get a complaint saying, as you can see here, p-bind should have an even number of arguments, okay? Okay, so that is the point, and then we can have a value. Inside any of these parameters, we can use another pattern. Okay, we can use another pattern. For example, this one, which is p-sequential. P-sequential allow us to have an array, okay? Allow us to have an array, and then the amount of times that we want that array to happen. In this case, we're having this to have it 3 times. 1 second, 2 seconds, 1 second, 1 second, 2 seconds, 1 second, 2, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 times, and then we are out of the composition, okay? And the other 2 parameters that we have are fixed, okay? If instead of having the volume, we can select a p wide, okay? P wide, for example, make us random values with uniform distribution, okay? This one give us random numbers, and as you can hear, we have a value number 0.1, a maximum number 0.5, and how many times, okay? And then a comma about saying this 1 time. If we do this, and then we evaluate, we are only gonna have one note. No matter that here we should be playing 9 notes. Why 9 notes? Because we are doing 3 times a sequence of 3 notes. That means that this sequence will resolve into 9 notes. However, P white, right, is just generating one value. So the pattern will stop immediately once that we are done with any of the patterns. Once that one pattern finish, all the pattern will finish. So we could do something like 9 times, and with that we are sure that we are going to have 9. But we can also say infinite numbers of numbers, infinite numbers of random values, and therefore this one will be infinite, but this one will only have 9, okay? And then we can play with this one. 1, note of 2 seconds, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 1, and we are done. Okay? Do you follow what I'm trying to explain? Yes? Are you sure? So people turn off the cameras again. So if you don't mind turning on your cameras, okay, I will really appreciate it. You will have time to work on your own in a few minutes. In that time, you could turn it off. Okay. Excellent. Well, we have a small, basic, very boring composition. Now let's, okay, another. So for now we have with P bind, we have P sequential, and then we have P random. Okay. How many of these ones materials can we have? Woo, let's go to the tutorial, okay? And let's go to the patterns, see patterns, okay? And here in, well, actually patterns are here. We have to go and check the different patterns options that we have. Let me go to see where can we study the different patterns that we have. I'm gonna go to my browse. In my browse, I will go to streams, patterns, and events. In my stream patterns and events, I will go and I will check for a practical guide to patterns. Okay. Can you see my screen in a good size? Or maybe,
Yes.
can I make it a little bit bigger? Can I make it something like this? Can you still see the code in a good proportion?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and for me, the post window is a little small.
You're
Bless you.
right. Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, now be careful. If we go here, we have references, classes, and a lot of tutorials. Okay, if we go to all these tutorials, you will see very nice things about introduction, about patterns, vocabulary about patterns, what is p-bind, word and phrases, math on patterns, filter patterns, repetition patterns, okay, time-based patterns, compositions, parallel patterns, language control, server control, data sharing, value conversion, and a lot of the information that is here. Okay, and now let's go to this one that is saying sending MIDI notes under patterns. If I go here, first of all, don't forget to turn on your MIDI client if you haven't done it yet. So first of all, I'm gonna turn on my MIDI client. Then I'm also do MIDI client, I think it was destinations, right? To see which ones are the different values that I have. And as far as I need to do, I will also generate, and then I'm going to do it as a global variable, MIDI device. We'll call it MIDI device. Okay, it's a MIDI output. Okay, dot new by name, and here, as you already did the other day, I will select the particular device that I'm using, and I will be selecting this particular device. Therefore, in my case, I will have something like this. Is that okay? Now, be careful. You should remember that with the tilde, this small, the virgula, I think it's the proper name of this symbol, the one that is in top of the N when we are saying the ñ, will make this a global variable. Be careful. I saw in some code of Omar, I guess, that you were using A and B and C and D variables. Try to avoid the use of the environmental variables. If I try to evaluate in any of these codes, I try to evaluate, for example, R, I will have a nil. If I try to evaluate an A, I will have an ill. If I evaluate an S, I will have an audio server, okay? And if I divide a P, I will have a nil. Any variable that starts from A to Z lowercase, it's a global, it's an environmental variable. Please try to avoid them because they are for setting up audio cards and so on. If you want to have something that you need to access from other places, okay, that you need to access, maybe the best thing to do is to use a global variable. So if I evaluate this, well, at this point, I have a MIDI output device, and then I don't need to evaluate it in any other place, and then I can use it in another location, okay? And then I have it, so be careful. This one is for generating audio with the synthesizer that is inside Super Collider. But if we want to use patterns, inside Super Collider, we can use something as follow. I'm creating another piece of section of code. I'm going to create a composition, MIDI composition actually. And then my MIDI composition is going to be my MIDI composition, okay? My MIDI, whoa, what's going on? My MIDI composition, it's going to be equal to a P bind again. Oh, it's going to be equal to a P bind, okay? And then I open parentheses, close parentheses, dot play to be sure. And then I can go here and then I can go here. Here, instead of time instrument node, I'm going to type and my type, it's going to be of type MIDI, okay? It's going to be a type MIDI. And then it's not mandatory. By the way, if I don't type MIDI command, it's going to be assumed that it's a node, but I'm going to send anyway that this is a node on, okay? I'm just following the examples that are here. Then I need to say, which is my MIDI device, okay? And it's going to be my MIDI output. Which MIDI output? The one that I just set up here, my MIDI device. Then I have here my MIDI device, okay? And that's it. And this, now I can select a channel, for example. My channel is gonna be channel 1 because I want to work with the drums, okay? Channel 1 is gonna be because this is my drums is on channel 1. You should remember that in some more usable codes, okay, things are random from 1 to 16, but in the computers it's gonna be from 0 to 15. So this one is actually channel 0, and this one is actually channel 1, okay? So I want to work with channel 1. Now, what else can we do? Let's go to repair just to check which is the value, the node that I'm using. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to my effects. And then these are the different. It's a C, right? This is a C. If this is lower C, which value is this one, by the way? This one should be 60, 60, right? Because this is 69 and this is 60. Therefore, this is 60 minus 24. I think it's 60 minus 24. Do you follow what I'm trying to explain, what I'm saying? Okay. So this is the channel, okay? If this is the channel, now we also need to set up the degree, okay? and then is 60 minus 24. We can do math if we want. And then finally here we can do an amplitude, which is gonna be careful. We know that we have to work between 0 and 127 in the MIDI volume. However, this system of p-binding sending MIDI will scale for us the amplitude. So if we say 1, it is actually become 127. Okay, this is important to know. Okay, so why don't we select 0.5 and then let's cross fingers to see if we do hear something, and then we didn't. Are we getting a MIDI value here when I send the values? Let's check. Why are we getting something here? I don't know. This is going to be the amplitude, and then let's select the degree, for example, or the amplitude. Let's select the amplitude to be this one, and then we evaluate. We are actually getting a MIDI value here, but we are not seeing anything at all. Anybody with some idea about why is this happening? We are actually getting MIDI on channel 2. That is fine. We can check if this is working by sending this one to 0 and then checking. We are actually getting values on 0. Okay. Yes, we're getting the parameters, but we are not listening anything. Is this working? Yes, it's working. Okay, can you help degree? This is a good degree. Let's select 60, and then what is going on with the amplitude? Let's select a P sequential, okay? And then I'm gonna create here a random, and then I'm gonna create this to be an infinite time, okay? And instead of here, I'm gonna create a random that is going from 60 to 90. Pay attention to this thing that I'm doing, because I'm actually creating, this is with 3 lines. Okay, how can I create an array here? I think that if I select this from 60 to 60 and then I evaluate, no, from 60 to from 60, I'm getting confused between this code and Python code. Well, how can we generate an array here from 30 to 90? Can I do, okay, that's it. From 30 to 90, and as you can see here, I create numbers from 30 to 90, as you can see in the command line. With this simple documentation, then I can do something like create a number from 30. I can remove this one from 30, and then I can create this one from 60 to 90. And then, what about this? The duration. Where do we have the duration? That is the problem. We don't have a duration. That is the problem. Okay, let's select a duration. And then in terms of duration, I'm going to select a really short note. Okay. Then I have a mistake because I forget the comma. And then I have this here. Is it working for you guys? Because it's not working for me.
Mine is working.
Your is working?
Yes.
Okay. Are you listening to the piano going up?
The drums.
Oh, I think that I know what is my problem. Maybe I haven't evaluated the MIDI device. MIDI output. No, that is not true. What is the difference in the things that you have and we have? Can you check also if yours is working?
Well, I have the channeling one because my drums in Reaper are in channel 2.
Okay.
And that's it. I don't have the semicolon in the play and it's working.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. So
Okay.
composition MIDI is a p-bind with the type MIDI command note on, MIDI command note on, MIDI output MIDI device, channel 1, duration 0.1, degree is properly written, that is fine. And then the amplitude 0.5. Do you have the amplitude that's 0.5?
Yes.
This is fine. And what about this one? This is also fine. This is fine. What is going on here? Can anybody else, other people that is working, that this thing is working for you guys?
I can see that Reaper is receiving the signal, but I can't hear it.
Okay, let's do a small test just with a MIDI device. Do you remember how did we make a note the other day? We can go here and check MIDI note. This is working. Okay, so my MIDI is actually working. Okay. So I'm gonna save this file to be my MIDI class from August. That is okay. And now what is going on here? Are you sure you have an amplitude like this one?
Yes. I can share my screen.
Please do it.
Teacher, I just have one question. Would you mind to repeat what does the function degree does?
Oh, the degree is the note.
Ah, okay.
Oh, I guess, okay, I guess I know the problem. Instead of having degree, okay, because I think the degree is, this degree is sending values between -7 and 12, okay? Yes, I think this could be the problem. Let me check if instead of degree, we can select the frequency, okay? That's it. Okay, apologize. This thing that we have here is an example that is using degrees. Degrees is converted to MIDI note, not just frequency, okay? And then this is a very low range or something like that. But in our case, we want to use frequency, and we have this to be 60, okay? What happened if in here, just for testing, we select here to be the number 60 as frequency? Let's check what happened if we take this as frequency, and then this is going to be a little bit longer. It's working, right? Now let's check this one. No, this is not working. This frequency is just sending a 60 value, but it's not sending the actual value that we want to send. Let's check for frequency, just for curiosity. 61, 62, 63. I'm going to change this one to be 0, just to be sure. It's just sending a middle C, actually, okay? This thing is just sending middle C. Frequency is not working. We have to check how can we set the actual nodes, okay? The actual nodes, the MIDI events, and then we can go here, MIDI, deploying a MIDI node corresponding to you. So any idea about the note? It doesn't seem that frequency is actually sending the proper frequency. So any idea here?
Should it be MIDI CPS?
Oh, I don't think we have to send here the frequency. Okay, let's check here what happened.
Teacher,
Yes,
oh,
yes.
I'm sorry. But I think that it's because we need to put there FREQ, because mine is working with the variation of the frequencies.
FR what?
FREQ.
Freak? Like
Yes,
this?
because yes.
But now it's sending a really low rate.
Well, I have like the array for 60 to 90. I don't know if it has to.
And it's working properly?
Well, the drums are changing. First I have the kick, then the snare, and I don't know if it's the thing that we need to.
Okay, frequency 60 to 90. Let's just check 60 to 90. Let's check. No. Yes, in this case it's working, but it's not. Let's check MIDI note. Okay, because it is the person who said that we need to convert to frequencies. Maybe you are all right. Let's check this one. Okay, that's it. It's MIDI note. Okay, this is not well documented, but here it says degree is converted to MIDI note. Okay. And here we have it, MIDI note 60 to 90. Okay. Now, one thing that is important, we saw in the first class of the semester that the MIDI protocol is waiting for a MIDI on and a MIDI off value. These patterns generate the MIDI off for us when we have the duration here, okay? When we set up the MIDI duration, we don't need to send the MIDI off. We just need to send the MIDI node, okay? Does that make sense? So if we change this one to be channel 1, and instead of this one, we select the value 60, it was 60 minus 24, I think it was the one that we want to check. Right? Now, this is really mechanical. This is really mechanical. Does that make sense? Yes.
Yes.
How much is 60 minus 24? Is 60 minus 24. How much is 60 minus 24? Well, I'm gonna be lazy. It's 36. Okay. I'm gonna select this one to be 36. Okay. This will be playing once. But if we check this one, we have an amplitude of 1, which that's not very human. Humans doesn't play like machines. We cannot do this as humans. So what about if we select here a P wide, okay, a P wide, and we select it's going to be between 0.7 and 0.8 and 0.9, okay, and 0.9 in an infinite amount of time. If we do this, let's see what happens if we put a comma just so we don't forget it. We have a, okay, this is not completely fillable, but maybe we can even emphasize this a little bit more, okay? This is emphasizing a little bit more. Okay. No, that's too much. This here, my speakers, that's too much. That is changing the intention. That would be a really bad drum player. So I'm gonna select between 0.8 and 0.9. Does that make sense? Two, ta, ta, two. Now, what happens if instead of this one, we select to have this one as 36, And then we can go directly to here. Okay, we can go to Reaper. And if this is 36, this is what? If this is 36, or this one. What about if we select this one? This is actually 59, okay? If that is 59, now we need a drummer here. Is anybody here playing drums? I want to make a really bass, rock, rhythm and blues, some rhythm. So maybe we can select here 59, okay? Or we can select here, yes, a 59, 36 and 59. Okay, now maybe it's a good point to check something new. Okay, we want the bass drum here to have it every second. Okay, and then we have it happen every quarters. Okay, we need to do this in some peculiar way. We need to start to make parallel notations, parallel sounds, okay? How can we do that? Well, one option to do is that here in the p-bind, okay? In the p-bind, I'm gonna do the following. Instead of having this one as the full composition, okay? Instead of having this to be a full composition, be careful because look what I'm gonna do, okay? Be careful with what is gonna happen right now. I'm gonna create a P parallel, okay? And the P parallel, it's gonna expecting a list. This will be the first sound, okay? Comma, and then, okay, I'm gonna close this P pad, okay? And then if this is, this is the first P pad, and then I'm gonna select a new one here, which means that as far as I can see, if this is P parallel, it's gonna be expecting this one, and then it's gonna be expecting, let's see if we don't mess up with this one, and this one, okay? Let's see if we did it properly. Actually, we need P binds here, okay? So this is a P parallel with a P bind here that is opening here and closing here, okay? And then this is another P bind that is opening here and closing here, okay? You saw what we did. Now we have two instruments, we have a P bind that is putting in parallel two P binds. Actually, this P pad should be removed. I apologize. This one will go into here. Is the P bind, okay? Now the P parallel, we have one and we have two, and then this will be closed. And then it was 36, 59, okay? Yes, does that make sense? Let's see what happened now with the durations, because this node should be 4 times 0.5 times 4, for example. Let's see what happened. No, actually this is 0.25 and this is every 2 seconds, okay? Every 2 seconds. We will fix that in a second so you can see. Okay. Can you see that? Okay. Yes, do you understand what I'm doing? We are doing a parallel collection with one hi-hat, with one drum, every bass drum every 2 seconds, and some hi-hats every 0.25 seconds. Okay, does that make sense? Yes. Well, now there's a small problem. What happens if we want to change the speed of this? What happens if we want to change the speed of this? We need to change the clock. Okay, if we want to change the speed of these materials, it's going to be really annoying if we have to do all the math about the tempos here. Okay, the tempos here will be crazy. So we are going to add here in the play. Okay, when we go here to the play, we know that the play is something that we can call on the function ppar, and we know that ppar is something of the type patterns. So if we go to our patterns here, okay, if we go to our pbind, we go that pbind belongs to a pattern, okay? And in the patterns here, we can go a little bit to the examples, and then we will have here that pbind, okay, has the function play. Do you understood how did I arrive to the different functions that we can call? I just went to the, this is again very important. All psec, pwhite, pbind, and all the rest of materials that we have studied belongs to the class patterns. Well, actually are inheritance of pattern, okay? That means that if you, okay, you from your coding classes, do you remember all the object-oriented paradigm in computer science? If you code a class human, which inherit from mammals, you will be able to do all the things that mammals do. Do you remember that even vaguely? Yoo-hoo. Yes, no. I don't see the chat. I don't see your faces. I don't see anything from you.
No, I don't remember.
Don't leave me alone. Okay. Do you remember that in programming class, do you remember that probably in some programming classes you saw things about object-oriented programming? Okay. Object-oriented programming is something that you did in Java, Python, many programs. You can create an object of type something. You can do something like, for example, you can do something like Aldo, the variable Aldo, okay, it's equal to a human, okay, dot new, and here's set of parameters. For example, Aldo, could you tell me how high are you? You're tall, your height?
1.70 m, I think so, 70.
Okay, could you tell me your nationality?
Mexican.
Okay, yoo-hoo, Mexican. Okay, I'm creating a human, okay, that is a new human with these properties. And now I am assigning that to Aldo, okay? I am assuming that somebody in this history of coding, okay, somebody did the following that we are not checking. I'm just opening a file. We are not gonna go into this into a lot of detail. This is the way that you create classes in Super Collider. Maybe you create a class in another programming language. This is the way that we are not going to study right now about how to create a class. But if I'm the person that I'm creating the human kind of objects, where is it? It's here, okay? Maybe somebody, I'm just typing something that is not real. I'm creating the class human, okay, which is what is the extends mammal. Somebody create a class called mammal, okay? Somebody create the class mammal, okay? They create class mammal. For example, I'm just typing. This should be full of errors. I'm not focused on the grammar right now. And then this person create that mammal, okay, dots could grow hair, because we as mammals, we grow hair, okay? And this is something like blah, 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 cells, hair growing, okay? You understand what I'm just doing? Yes, Fernanda, are you bored? No, not bored at all. Are you sure? Okay, good. Okay. If somebody create a class called mammal, okay, and somebody else creates a class human, which extends mammal, okay, then the humans will be able to do all the things that the mammal, okay, does, because we are extending something that mammals do, okay? We are an extension of mammals, okay? That is important to understand. Therefore, if I create also here, what is something that we do that other mammals doesn't? Can you tell me something that we do, but that is special for us besides any other mammal?
Speak.
Well, okay, yes, let's assume that. Yes, speak, okay? And then the speaks, blah, blah. And then here, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Say, or maybe laugh, okay? I don't know how to write laugh, okay? Laugh and laugh. And read. And dream, okay? Maybe these are things that we are pretty sure that we can do, okay? And we are not completely sure that humans can do it, okay? You understand? You understand, right? Okay. Then Aldo can speak, okay? Because we decide that humans can speak, but Aldo can also grow hair, okay? We did not create the function grow hair on humans, but we created on mammals. But because humans extends what mammals can do, okay? Therefore, an object of type human can grow hair. Yes? Do you understand the things that I'm explaining here? That is something very important about inheritance, or herencia in Spanish. This thing is called inheritance. And it's very important to understand that we can do inheritance. And I'm going to erase this because this is full of mistakes, grammatical mistakes, because I decide to write in kind of Java and kind of, I mean, this is wrong. This is grammatically wrong. Okay. So bye-bye to the example. But the important thing here is to know that a p-bind, if we go to the p-bind, okay, if you say, it says that p-bind let me draw. If the p-bind, I want to draw. The p-bind, it's a child, it's inheritance, the things from pattern, okay? Then we can go to see what the patterns are doing. And here in the patterns, we can go to all the different, here are the methods, okay? Here, these are the methods, okay? These ones that are here are the methods that you inherit from objects. Because actually, it's like saying mammals belongs to animals, okay? And then these are the methods that I directly call in patterns. And in patterns, it turned out that we have play, okay? And in play, we could add a parameter that is a clock, okay? The tempo clock that will run the pattern. If omitted, the tempo clock default is used. Yes, do you follow what I'm doing? Okay, that means that we can go and study what a tempo clock is doing. And then we have a tempo clock with tempo, beats, seconds, and quantization, okay? This is interesting because that means that we can create here a variable called my tempo, okay, my tempo. And here, for example, I can decide that my tempo, it's gonna be equal, okay, to a tempo clock, okay, of 1, for example, okay? My tempo is tempo, my tempo is equal a tempo clock of something, some value. And here I can add that play will be using the tempo clock, okay? So if I run this, I have the piece at certain speed. And if I type this to be 0.5, now I have it half the speed, okay? And if I do this to be, we can change it in real time, but not right now.
Teacher, how do you know what bits per minute are?
Oh, because the unit, this is 1 unit. And this, we are working, be careful because we're working with tempo, okay? So this is tempo.
Okay.
Okay. We could do something that we can check actually in order to sing a musical, but let's check the timing bits corresponding to the reference time given with this a second argument, default to 0. Let's check here if we can do something like working with tempo bits, okay? I don't know, okay, yes, we have here beats to seconds and seconds to beats. We can think everything musical here, okay? We could do something like that. Let me see if there is an example around here. It would be very nice. Yes, the tempo is 72/60, and this gives us 72 beats times seconds, okay? Let's see if we can have another way of thinking the beats. Yes, beats per bar, all these functions, okay? Let's see, we have here tempos. Can we do something like tempo beats? I guess yes. I guess if we do this like we have here, okay? Sorry for moving this one and this speed, but if we go here to here, 72/64, this is 72 beats per second. If we do here, this one, 72/60, okay? And then these ones will be, okay, will be the duration of the white, which means that these are quarters, okay? And these are actual white notes, okay? Do you see what I'm doing? Yes?
Yeah.
Now, let's create, for example, what time is it? Yeah, we're fine. Let's create, for example, a small improvisation with the other notes that we have here. Let's create, for example, let me see if we have something like well, let's create these ones. Only these parameters here. If we do something like this, I'm gonna create a new P part here. I'm gonna create a new composition here. I will, okay, because this is important, because my tempo will be shared between different sections of my composition, I will decide to make my tempo clock, okay? I will create my tempo clock. Are you paying attention? Yes, right? You have,
Yeah.
why, how
Yes,
many
sure.
people? Okay, 14 people in the class. It's just that the people do not have the camera on. Okay, so pay attention to the following thing. I want to split my materials, my musical materials in different sections, okay? Because I want to split my materials in different sections, I will do the follow. My tempo will become a global variable, okay? My tempo will become a global variable. What do I need to do in order to make this a global variable? Because if I do this and I try to play my tempo here, look, if I do this, I will have a mistake. And the mistake is going to be telling, hey, I don't have a variable my tempo. You should remember, that if you run a piece of code between parentheses, the variable should be created inside here. So could you tell me, how can I make my tempo to become a global variable?
With the anything.
Exactly. And then this becomes a global variable and you should keep it like this. So this one can be evaluated once, whatever. And then now I have this section. Okay. Okay. Now, instead of doing my composition MIDI, I'm not going to start it right now. And again, I'm going to do it. And this one will become also a global variable. Actually, if I do this one to be a global variable, okay, if I make, this is not going to be called composition MIDI anymore, but this is will we call drum bass, okay, and my drum bass will be a tilde, okay. Now be careful with the following thing that I'm doing. I'm saying that drum bass is going to be equal to playing with this particular tempo this material. That means that I can actually put it, I think I can even pause it. I'm not quite sure. Let me check. I will drop, because selecting this is very uncomfortable. I will select this between parentheses here and parentheses here. That way I can just double click here or double click here and everything is selected. And then, well, what's going on here? Why it didn't fail receive a tempo clock? Oh, maybe because, yeah, this is my tempo clock. This is my tempo clock. And then, okay, that's it. Okay. And then I can, let's see if I can pause it. Yes. And then I can also, I don't know if we have resume. Resume. Yes, I can pause it. And I can resume. Okay, that's it. Okay. And now let's create a section, another section similar to this one. Similar to this one, okay? Similar to this one. However, it's gonna have the MIDI, where was it? The MIDI note. It's not gonna go 36, but it's gonna be, this is 60, no, 30, what is this number? 30, 36. If this is 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. From 45, okay? From 45, 45, from 45 to 48, okay? And it's not gonna be a P sequence, but it's gonna be a P random, okay? This will select one note by random. P random. Is it P random? P random. Okay. P random. And what is expecting? A list, and then that's it. And the speed is gonna be this one over 125. Okay. And this is gonna be impro, ROM impro. Okay. No, that was maybe too much. Let's check this one. Oh, it's not working because we don't have the tempo selected. I'm gonna select the tempo line here. Okay. And then let's select the drum. Oh, I'm making a mistake. The P part was not a P part, right? It's just one note. So I'm gonna select the P bind here. And then I'm gonna remove this one, and then I will forget about the sections here because it was just one note, and then I did a mistake. Ah, it's not there. It's not there. It's here. I'm gonna select the P bind here, okay? And the P bind is finishing here, okay? And then the array is finishing here, and then I think this one is going also here. Let's check. Oh, one more time, the tempo clock is stopped each time that I stop the code. The tempo clock is working. No, this is not. It was 44, by the way, to 48. And the duration is 0.125. I don't like it. Okay, one more time. Okay. Now, what happened if I run this one? Okay, it's kind of good, but however, we have a small problem here. We have a small problem here. That is, I'm going to slow the tempo to become this really slow. Okay. And then this is going to be just for testing purposes. I'm going to run this one. And then what happened if I turn this one? Okay. If I turn on this one, they are not in sync. These guys are not in sync. This one started at some point in time, and this one started in another point in time. Okay. Do you follow what I'm saying? In order for them to start at the same time, we need to run something that we just saw in one of the examples here, which was in addition to the play, let's go back to our documentation here. In addition to the play, we have to search for quant. Here is it. The quantization, okay? When do we want to quantize? And we can say, please quantize every second, every unit. If we do this, we quantize every unit, then this will is quantize. Actually, I'm gonna say every 5 units, okay? Let's see if with this, it's enough. I'm gonna turn on this one. I'm gonna start this one. What is going on here? Oh, wait, it's not playing. It's not playing. It's not playing. Now it starts to play. It is until we have 5 bars that we start. But if we do that, that means that I can start this one. And it's not playing. I already triggered it. We have to wait until they quantize on number 5 bars. Now they are together. Do you understand what I'm explaining? Maybe 5 was too much. because then you have to wait until the future. But maybe for at least for some rock or blues or something like that, should be a little bit more interesting. Okay. Or actually, we can do it in every 1 bar, for example. Maybe 1 bar is enough. And we trigger this one. Oh, one more time, we have to trigger the clock. We have to trigger this one. Okay. And then this drum intro. The drum impro, we could have it here. We are not stopping, we are just pausing, okay? That means that I can run this one. No, not this one, but this one. Okay. The drum impro. And we can pause it. But actually, when we resume, we lost this. We lost the quantization. Okay, so we have to be careful with the resume of the quantization. Let's see if we have here the resume. If we come in the resume, we can upload D. We can check if the resume has an event or a PDF. Yes, streams. Okay, we have patterns here. And we can see if resume has a quantization. Yes, resume has a quantization and a clock. That means that we can also resume, okay, based on these ones, and we can resume also based on this one. If that is true, we could set up our tempo, start our bass, start our drum, pause, resume, and start our, okay, our resume. Okay, we started 3, 4, 5, and it's 5. So we have been working for 2 hours. I think we should wait. We should make a pause of 10 minutes, okay? But do you see what we are doing? Do you understand what you can achieve with these techniques? With these techniques, you can describe the music, not using the DAW, which is pretty good. Actually, using the DAW is pretty good. Using the DAW for composing and playing is a really, it's like if you are a writer, you can write a novel in Word, right? You can write your story in Word. Antonia caminó por las tinieblas y se encontró a Alejandra que la cuchilló, right? However, with these techniques, you are using the computer more as a partner than an assistant, because in this particular case, you can write me a piece of music, write me a piece of a story with a drama, with somebody calling somebody, and then it's gonna invent the situation every time that you run it, which probably is a very nice way of composing in this part of the history. But we are gonna work with this a little bit more in the coming 2 hours. Yes, are you excited? I see you a little bit tired. Are you bored? No, not at all, Ricardo.
It's a lot of information.
Okay, let's save and see you here at 5:15. Okay, see you
Thank
here
you.
at 5:15.
Teacher,
Yes. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. We are resuming our things based on the comments that you did, that the class is kind of a little bit exhausting in terms of information. I just want to have, first of all, if you have specific questions, if you have punctual questions, first of all. Do you have any
Mm,
kind of question? Yes?
I do. I was watching to your code, and for example, the first exercise that we did that make sound about in the drum, I could hear like the hi-hats and the kick drum, but you just put one MIDI note that was the letter, no, the number 39 or 36. So I just don't know what did you do in that part? Because I'm a little bit confused.
Can you share your screen, please?
Yeah, but actually I just didn't. Oh, wait, I think I shared my other screen. I'm gonna put it here. Oh my God. Wait.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay, and can you see my code here? Because,
Yes.
okay. So here was in the first exercise, you did something here before the establishing the tempo variable. You just place here. I don't remember if it was like 36, and it started to sound like the hi-hat and the kick, but you just placed one MIDI note. So I just don't know where does the kick drum sound or the hi-hat come from.
I see. I think the 36 is the hi-hat. No, the 36 is the drum and the 59 is the hi-hat.
Okay, 36 and the 50. But instead of being here, P sec was P rand, right?
Oh, that one was for the improvisation part where we were playing many different instruments from 44 to 48. If you want to have an array there, you need to put 44 to 48. If you want to have it by random.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I just have other question. What's the difference then between the P wide and the P rand?
Oh, P wide selects a random number between 0.8 and 0.9. You have the lower range and the maximum range. Okay.
Yeah.
And with P random, you select one of the values that is inside the list.
Okay. Yeah. I got it.
So PY requires two numbers as the first two inputs of the function, while P random requires a list.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got it. Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else? Questions, doubts, suggestions, ideas? No? Okay, now, first of all, imagine that you have something, doom, ta-ta, doom, ta-ta, but we as musicians, sometimes we do the things a little bit different. We don't play all the time the same. That's part of the lively action of music, okay? So we can concatenate, and okay, I don't want to teach more information today. I want you to do variations of this. So first of all, I'm gonna share my screen one more time. I will go back to this small section, the section that we have. I will get only this particular version where we have this one, okay? Our base, okay? We have this version. This video will describe, okay, we have this section where we have the tempo, right? And we have the drum bass. So if I go again with the tempo, and then I start to play the drum bass. Okay, as you can see, this is completely fixed. This part that we have here is playing, okay, is playing this note all the time. Let's make a small variation where sometimes, okay, the code that we have here is playing this all the time. What happens if we want to have three different versions? Three small different versions of this. One of them is the duration 0.25, right? This is the MIDI note, that's fine. And then this is the duration. And the duration, okay, this duration could be 0.25 and it's gonna be playing all the time. If we do this to be a P sequence, pay attention to the section that we have here. If we do this here to be a P sequence of 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, and 0.25. This is playing an entire, this is pretty much the same that we did before because these values are the same, right? Do you follow what I'm saying? Now, imagine that we want sometimes to be this function, this array, and sometimes another array. I mean, sometimes we have, this is one version. Let's play it. I'm gonna remove for now, well, yeah, I'm gonna select my tempo here, and then I'm gonna select this one more time, this one here. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? That's pretty simple. But what happens if we select another version? For example, this version that we have here. I'm gonna modify this one and I'm gonna change this one to be 0.5. Okay, and then we play it again. What? Is this okay? By the way, why is this long, short, 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 long? Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay. Sometimes we want the previous version, and sometimes we want this version. We can embed, and instead of having P select, we can select another pattern, which is P, what is it? It's P select, okay? And then this one that is, no, it's not P select, it's P, okay, I think using a seed pattern as input, P sequence, P random, where is it? P, let's go back to our section here that we have here, okay? And then I will go to my documentation here. And then here in my documentation of patterns, I will go to, these are the different patterns that we have here. We go to stream and patterns, and then I will go to my reference of patterns, okay? And in my patterns, I will have here a practical guide to patterns, and here where we have the I think it's here, understanding patterns, specific classes. Oh, it's here. Okay, here we have the patterns, and these are all the different patterns for doing lists. Okay, and this is a filter patterns. This is for filtering patterns. Okay, and then these are events for specific filters. You can see all the different patterns that we have: P set, P mod, P add, P multiply, P white, P brown, P lazy, P bind. Okay. And then here we have patterns for filtering things. And these ones are the different list patterns. For example, PFPAR, PFSM, embed, PPAR, P random, okay, P sequential, okay, interlace embedding subarrays, P place, interlace streams, P set, P shove, okay, P slide, P tuple, P walk, PW rand, okay, and PX rand. Now let's check this one, that is P shuffle. This is the one that I want you to see. P shuffle is pretty nice because instead of P random, it's gonna select the values and it will create a version, and it's not gonna repeat it, and it's gonna keep it all the time. So in this particular case, this is exactly what I was looking for. The duration is gonna be of P shuffle, P shuffle, and then I will do the following. I will please select one of one tempo, two of 225, and one of 0.5. How much does this add? 0.5 and 0.5 and 1. Okay, that's it. And then I can do a P clock. And then this version is this one. For this particular version, we have this one. But if I play it again, if I run it again, can you see that it's different now? And if I do it again, oh, if I do it again, it's different. What does that mean? That P shuffle will get one of these ones, it will scramble it, it will repeat it, it will choose these ones by random, and once that is selected, it's gonna keep it like that. This is more musical than the traditional P random of P white, for example. Okay. Okay, so based on that, we could do the same with this P random that we have here. We could do something like the P shuffle here. So we can select this one here. We can select these ones here. And select this one. And you see that now it's repeating. It's by random, but it is repeating. Okay. Can you make a version, a different version with this material that you imagine in another, with another musical domain? I want you to create your own version, modifying the different values and parameters that you have here. That will generate some questions. I want you to take maybe 15 minutes to think a musical, maybe you want to make a valse. Instead of doing this material, I want you to create a valse. So that's going to be 3/4 instead of 4/4 and things like that. I'm going to share you this code. I'm going to share you this code, not all the code. Well, actually, yes, I can send you all the code. How can I share you this particular code? Maybe, let's see if I can send it through the chat of Zoom, and you tell me if you can put it in Super Collider and test it. Can you put it?
I could, but I guess it's incomplete. the last part.
It's incomplete, so you cannot see the.
It's when you were establishing the drum impro variable.
Yes, it seems that we cannot share it. Oh, but I can share the file actually. So how can I share a file? Or like this, and then. Okay, it has been sent as a file. So is that fine if you have maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes to play with this technique in such a way that you come with something that you find more interesting musically speaking. Is that fine? If you have questions, you want comments, I'm gonna be here connected. But I also wanna be working in another version of this. I just want you guys to code a little bit, otherwise you're gonna fall asleep, and I don't think that's the idea of the class. Yes? Okay, go ahead.
Professor, could
Yes.
is there a possibility that you could mute your yeah, because it could get distracting hearing both drums, but thank you.
Teacher, do we need to use the P shuffle, or can we just replace it for, I don't know, a P sequence or P random?
Or you can do whatever you want with the patterns. Actually, if you Google pattern list, you will find some other pattern parameters. You don't have to use piece record. I think it could work musically, but you can select another ones if you want.
Okay, thanks.
Hello, I just want to know how are you doing, if you can any kind of help, or you want to start showing the small materials, well, the materials that you have just created.
Well, I'm doing good. I don't know about my classmates.
Let's hear for that. Hello.
Yes, everything good here as well.
But everything that means that you are done, or everything means that you need more time?
Well, I'm not sure I'm finished,
Mhm.
but I mean I'm not having any trouble so far. I'm just trying to find exactly what's in my head. I mean,
Okay, okay. Let's make a small pause. If you want, I want to show you something. Could you pause your work, because I'm gonna show you something that could be interesting for you guys. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna set a portion of my screen. Okay, so far, I know that it's a lot of information, but we're gonna be working on this for quite a several classes until we end up with some material that could be musically attractive. I want you at the end of this month to have something that you can say, wow, this is a real composition, because these are only exercises. And what do we need to do in order to jump from exercises to a real composition? That could be tricky, right? But I want you to show you think. And I'm going to get something extremely basic. For example, I'm going to start from something from scratch. Okay, I'm going to start something from scratch here, which I think it could be good. I'm gonna forget about the time right now. I'm gonna create something like the one that I already have there. And first of all, I need to create something that will be static. I'm gonna just duplicate something of the things that we already have. Okay, and this could be the starting point for something. I'm gonna call this one nested. Okay, and you will see why in a second. So this will be called nested. Okay, and then the amplitude will be fixed to be 0.5. The MIDI note is going to be fixed to be 30 or 47. And then these durations are going to be fixed to be 1 second long. And this is fine. This should be understandable for you. And probably you will understand that this is quite a boring situation, right? We are just saying, can you hear the hi-hat? I guess yes. What is the name in English of this particular instrument, by the way? Do you know it? Can you hear it?
No.
I think it's really low because you can really hear it.
Let me check if I send this in the preferences. I send it to, um, I don't have the, I'm sharing the audio, share audio in high quality. It's too low. Why is this sound not going through the speakers as you did? Maybe because I had it close before. I don't have the zoom here as you did, but I don't know if it's because of the audio cards. Can you hear it? No?
Well, yes, but really low. I don't know if it's from your speakers or, but I hear it really, really low.
Okay, let me turn off original sound. This is mono. Let me see something. I'm gonna close Reaper, and then I'm gonna open Reaper again and see if now No, I don't have the zoom option as you did. And I think maybe that's because of my audio cards. I don't think so. MIDI is coming through here, and this one is going through my speakers, and then I'm doing here tune on. No audio settings. No, I don't have the zoom here. No, you don't hear anything. You do? But not in good level, right? What
I think we can hear it, but through your speakers.
Yes. But I'm already in Zoom saying that I want to share the audio. And the audio of the computer is not being shared. And I think the audio, yes?
I think you could try stop sharing the screen and doing it again. Maybe that way. Yeah.
What happened is I share the audio like this. I'm just sharing the audio. Can you hear it?
Yes, but through your speakers.
Yeah, but
I think, is anybody here with, I have an external audio card, and I don't know if that could be the problem. Or what about with this option? No? The same?
the same.
And what if you switch or try all options that were on preference section?
On what? On Reaper?
Yeah.
If I do what?
If you go to preferences and try to select each one on audio system to find out if maybe one of them could run.
I'm just scared of doing a change like this one because Zoom is gonna have problems. Oh, well, yeah, we're just in Reaper, right? And then dummy audio, I don't think so. Wasapi, what do you have? Input and output. No, we don't have these. What about direct sound?
Are you playing the sound? Because I don't hear it.
You know what could be part of the problem. Let me see something. What happened if I do this? Give me just 1 second, and I'm gonna add an audio card here. No, there, no. So was this happening before? Why you didn't tell me that before? Or was it fine before?
Mm, I I think we always heard it through your speakers, but it was like in a good level. But
Okay.
this time I think it's really low. I don't know why.
Okay, I see. It says you are sharing audio from your computer. And then I put here sharing audio. That is good. And if I'm sharing the audio from my computer, and you are getting my microphone in Zoom, what happened? Can you hear me there?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Now I'm gonna change this one. Can you, what about there?
the same.
Yes.
What about if I do this? I'm gonna share the audio only. What about this one?
It sounds the same to me too.
No, this one. Give me a second. This one. Is it working? Did it change?
No, I don't think so.
Well, but you can hear the hi-hat, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's forget about sending high quality if this is not high quality music and we have just one simple hi-hat, okay? Okay, so the important part here is this one. This is called nested. And this is a function that is not having any pattern inside. It is having only, it's having a p-bind, it having the MIDI, which MIDI device, the channel, the duration, the note, and the amplitude, right? We already learned that we can change one of these parameters, for example, and we can select, for example, the parameters here, the duration, okay? The duration, and we can select the p-sec, for example, p-sequential, and I was telling you that you could have a list here, and how many times do you want to repeat it? I want to repeat it in an infinite time, and the duration is gonna be 1 second, and 2 seconds, and 0.5 seconds, and 0.5 seconds, and 0.5 seconds. You understand? You can imagine what is gonna happen in here, right? If I do this one, you're gonna have 1 second, 2 seconds, half second, and then the repetition, right? You understand that, right? Oh, well, and then I have to close my parentheses here, right? And I do this, 1 second, 2 seconds, half second, 2 seconds, dun, dun, 1, 1, 2, half, 1, 2, half, 1, 2, half, and it's repeating. You hear it, right? I'm going to change this one to be 36 so you can hear it in a more in a strong way. That's fine, right? Yes. Now, what happens, and look at this, this is pretty nice. If instead of having a list, we have a patterns, okay? Instead of having here a list, I'm gonna have patterns. So I'm gonna select here, for example, another p sequential, okay? This is gonna be a p sequential of 2 seconds and 0.5, comma 0.5, 1, 2, and 1, okay? That is my first p sequential, okay? That means that here we have to open this one, and then I'm gonna put a comma here, and then I'm gonna close this one here, and then here I'm gonna put now for example, I'm gonna put here a P, let's go to check which one we can select. I'm going back to this document that I'm gonna show you, and let's search, for example, for a pattern like going up. Let's select a pattern for example, P random, right? But this one, look one, PX rand. This one choose randomly, but never repeats the same item twice. Okay. Okay, that's pretty nice. Let's select this one, PX rand. So I'm going to select here my, where is it? My PX random. And please select by random again, one of these ones. Okay, PX random. And we select one of these ones. You see what I'm doing? Can you see what's happening here? And because this, well, okay, let's play this one. And instead of having these two, well, it's fine. Look at this, PX random, and this one is the PX random, which closes here. And then the PSEC, how many times do we want the PSEC? One. And how many times do we want the PX random? Once. Okay, so we are gonna have 2, 0.5, 0.51. Okay, this is PSEC. This is, oh, we have to close this one here, and this one here, and this one closes here. Okay, that's fine. And 2, 5, 5, 1, and then one of these ones by random, and then again this one. Okay, so what's happening here is we are replacing the list that we have for a list of patterns. Okay, this is now a list of patterns.
Teacher, can you make the window a little bit bigger?
Yes, I think the problem is that I was not. Okay, it's here. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so what is happening here is that in previous versions, we have a PSEC and we have a list. Any list, any value in a list, or any value inside a pattern can be a pattern. So in this case, now we have a we have a sequence of patterns. The first sequence is gonna be a sequence itself, and the second is gonna be an X random, okay? So what is gonna happen is that it's gonna be, because this is sequence, it's gonna go and it's gonna do this one, 2 seconds, half second, 1 second. This is done one time. And because this is a PSEC, it will go to the second part of the list, which is a PX rand. This PX rand will shuffle this one. We're gonna select one of these ones by random, okay? But one of these actually we need, let's select a P shuffle here, okay? A P shuffle here. Can anybody explain me what is happening here? Estefania, can you explain me what's happening here?
Yes, well, I think that you're creating a sequence, and in that sequence, you are adding another sequence, but like in addition, it'll be another, like, let's say sequence, but it's not actually a sequence. It'll be rather like a random value, but in a way it's still a sequence because it is going after the formal sequence of like the beat, but now in a shuffle way.
Can you dictate me a possible, can you dictate a possible time solution, a possible time version of this material, please?
What do you mean by that?
Yes, First of all, this is a sequence.
Mhm.
The first sound, the first duration in this sequence is going to be a 2. Now, what value is going? What value will be the next?
0.5.
Okay, the next one.
0.5.
The next one.
1.
Okay, with this material, with this, we are doing with this material, we are doing this section of the sequence, right?
Mhm.
Now, can you tell me which could be the next value?
0.5 maybe.
Okay, and then the next one.
And then I think, I'm not sure if it is like the first sequence, like starting from the 2 or and then the 0.5, or if it's how do I say it?
It's the full length. The shuffle will play the full length, the
Okay.
full list.
Okay, just in a random way. Then maybe
Yeah.
2,
Maybe 2,
then 1,
then 1.
then 0.5.
Okay, excellent. And then,
Well, I think it begins all over again.
all over. Nah, can you repeat it again? Okay, please keep going.
2,
2.
0.5,
Okay,
0.5,
okay,
1,
okay. And now,
1,
okay,
2,
okay,
0.5, and 0.5.
excellent. Is everybody following the logic that Estefania is explaining? Yes, it's pretty clear, right? Well, I don't know if it's pretty clear because it is a Leah. What is going on here? It is a list. Instead of having a list here, it's having patterns. The first pattern is itself a sequence. Therefore, this version is obviously the first time this is happening. Then it comes to the P shuffle, which will make one random version of this one. Then, because this is only one, this one will go again to this section. And this version will be another variation of this section, right? What could happen if I do this? If I do this,
that sequence is going to run 3 times.
which means that it's something like this one, right? 1, 2, 3, and then the shuffle version, and then 1, 2, 3, and then the shuffle version, right? Okay, how does pop music works, for example, or techno music works? It has chorus and verses, right? So you can use this for nesting sections of pieces, okay? With human variations in these points. This is something that you cannot do in Ableton Live, Logic, and whatever. You simply cannot do something that becomes organized by itself directly in the code, okay? In Ableton, the closest thing that you can do, for example, in Ableton Live is that, for example, in Ableton Live would be something, for example, like Ableton Live. Okay, like this one. Is there a way in which you can jump randomly between different versions of this? I mean, you can be playing this one, right? Oh, you can be playing first this section, right? And then you can jump to this one. And then you can jump to this one. And then you can jump to this one. But this one is fixed. I think you can program in some way to jump randomly to this one, and from this one to this one, and from this one to this one. But you cannot start to share all of them randomly. You cannot modify one of these ones internally, okay? And this is the way that music, this is not the way that we make play music, for example. So becoming with a good proficiency on these logics could be very interesting, okay? Okay, but you understand what is happening here. Could you keep going with your example now, understanding that you can nest sequences? Because now, for example, I can also do something here, like instead of sequence, instead of this sequence, I can actually say, well, this is a shuffle. And then I will have also here another one that is, for example, instead of shuffle, I can go to my code here and I can go to for example, to another, for example, I can go to what do you think? What can we do? Oh, for example, in this one, we can select actually P white, okay? And this is gonna select a value, okay? Or actually we can select P random, okay? And then P random will select one of these ones by random, one of these ones. So we can select either, please select, okay? Please select by random. Please, this is nice. Please select by random either the P sequence, 4 units, or the P sequence for units 1, okay? Or the P sequence or the P sequence 2 and 2, or the P sequence 1, 1, 1, 1, for example. Can you see this one? So it's going to be this one, and then it's going to be this one. And then by random, we'll select either this one or this one or this one, okay? And here we go. So we can select this 4 times. We can select this one 2 times, and this one, oh, actually the 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this one 2 times, for example. What's going to happen here? I'm not quite sure. Well, I'm sure, but okay, that's it. Selecting this one 4 times. We are selecting this one 4 times. Okay. Then we are going to select this one twice by shuffle. And then we are going to select either this one or this one or this one twice. And we are going to repeat the loop. Okay. Okay, can you keep working on your code for just for rounding up for another 10 minutes? I want to hear your materials. 10 minutes, please, at the most.
Sure.
Okay, I think we have to stop in order to continue a little bit with a couple of other, the continuation of our musical materials. Thanks, Fernanda, for turning on your camera. Thanks, Omar, Ricardo, and so on. Okay, can we see a couple of examples? Just a couple of examples. Whoever wants to show something. Okay, Ricardo. For some reason, I don't hear you. I guess you are muted, right?
Yes, but now I think you can hear me.
Yes.
Now let me change really quickly the audio device from Reaper.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, that's pretty nice. Can you explain us a little bit? Because I just keep it going. It's nice if you keep it going. In the bombo, okay, so you have the bombo, the hi-hats, and the, which other, the 38 is which one?
Which one? Sorry.
Okay, on the from line 200 to 209, you have the bombo. From 210 to 18, you have the hi-hats. I just want to know which one is the next one, the one that is starting in 219.
The 38 one is the snare.
Oh, 38 is a snare.
Yes.
Okay, and okay, you have high. Why do you have hi-hat with oh, it's a 7 times. Okay, and then you have the, okay, can you MIDI note 38 MIDI note? You have, okay, MIDI note 42. Why do you have the into line 216? In 216, why do you have everything? Why don't you have only 42?
Because on the instrument, there are two sounds from the hi-hat that I wanted to use. I think it's this one and this one. No, this one.
Oh, okay. And then
that one for the end of every measure.
oh, okay. So you have the 42 7 times.
Yes, this
and,
one.
Uh-huh. And then when do you have the other one?
It would be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, you don't have it yet, or you have it already implemented?
Yes, it's already implemented.
Where? I just want to know which note is that one. 38? No.
60.
Oh, 60. I see. Okay. Okay, good. Oh, pretty nice. So you have 7 times the 42 and then the 60.
Yes.
Okay, nice. So in line 2, from line 211 to 218, you have basically the 7 of them and then
yes.
Okay, nice. On line 38, you have basically tune, 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 right? Every beat with an amplitude of between P sec of 0.7 and then P wide between 0. Okay, let's check that one. 208, that's the boom, boom, right?
Yes, I gave the first beat a higher amplitude because normally drummers mark that beat on a stronger play in order to mark that it's the beginning of a measure. So that's
Oh, so
why
you have the tune.
yes.
But that one is by random between 0.5 and 0.6.
No, it's at the beginning it's 0.7, and then the
Yes,
other three ones are changing
random
between
between 0.5 and 0.6. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, okay, from 219, what's going on 219?
here I
You
have the
have,
first iteration of the snares that have
okay,
this sequence. Then it has this shuffle that runs 2 times. But I
okay,
also have one p-vine that has the snares on, I don't know how to say it in English, contratiempo. That
okay,
has a constant feeling of counterpoint, I guess, for the
okay.
snare as well. And it has four actions of the snare, but two of them are silent. I made that in order to have this feeling of contratiempo
Mm-hmm.
without breaking my head.
Okay, okay. So you have the duration is, how do you manage to do the counter time? I don't know how to say contratiempo, neither the up a beat.
I made a silent note.
Oh, well, you made it with a silence. So that means that that one is not sounding.
Yes, that's why I
Okay.
have this amplitude as 0, 0.5, 0, and 0.5.
Okay, beautiful. Could you play it again, please?
Yes.
Can you try, not right now, but in the future, that maybe every 4 times of this complete loop, I mean, this is going to happen 3 times, and then you have kind of a more longer redoble de and then do you understand what I'm saying? You repeat these 3 times, and then you have something that closes the cycle.
Yeah, I wanted to make a p-bind of this type of things, but I didn't have enough time because I wanted to make this bit to run like 4 times, then make another one for only the remate
Mm-hmm.
to continue with this bass.
Okay, okay. Now, the point is this one. El remate probably is not going to be affected by, el bombo no is not going to be affected by the remate, the rolling, right?
Yes.
And
That's
the hi-hat neither. Maybe the hi-hat and the, I mean, you have to detect which ones. And then instead of having the p-vine, okay, you are going to have a p-sec basically. That p-vine, for example, the one that is between 211 and 218 will become the 1 to 3 times a p-sec, right?
Yes, what I think that I wanted to do was to make a p-sec of this drum bass and then make another one like this one, but only for the remate. So it will be the p-sec with drum bass 1, remate, and then the continuity of.
Oh, yes, but what I'm saying is maybe you don't need to do a p-bind of the drum of all that structure, because the bombo and some other, maybe bombo and hi-hat are not going to be modified. If that is the case, okay, the p-bind of 219 and 226, they individually become p-secs, which will be played 3 times, and then you have another p-bind for the el remate, right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Let me just draw. Can I draw on your screen? I think so. Let me see something. I think I can draw on your screen if I do. I don't know how to draw on others. Let me see something. Yes, annotate, it's here. Okay, so you have two options. Either making a full p-bind of this one, okay? And then this repeating times 3, and then adding a new section for the roll-up. I don't know if redoble se dice roll-up, but I'm gonna say roll-up, okay? Here the part that you are missing. But the other option that you could have, okay? The other option that you could have is that you keep this one as the entire composition, but maybe this one from here to here becomes, this one in particular, becomes a PP sequential, okay? A PSEQ, okay? That has first this section repeated 3 times, and then a p-bind repeated only once, which is the roll-up, okay?
Okay.
So this becomes the first element of a PSEQ that will be repeated 3 times, and then you have another p-bind that you will have to build, okay?
Yes.
And you can do the same with this one, okay? Or because these ones are together, actually this could be something that you also should consider. These two are actually one musical idea, right? This is one musical part. This is one musical part. And these two, right, together make some musical idea. Because they together make some musical idea, maybe you should encompass this one inside a P part itself, okay? Because if you put these ones together as a P part, then you could have a PSEQ, which has a list with that P part that is made of 2 P binds. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
These together, these two together, you put them inside a P parallel because they will be together. And this P parallel, which is the 38, what is the instrument of 38?
38 is the snare.
Okay, and then this P parallel makes the snare. And then you just create a PSEQ that has inside your snare pattern multiply 3 times, where you know that the snare is a P parallel with these 2 elements, and then one snare modification, okay, which is also made of 1, 2, 3, or 4 P pan, which is also a P parallel, for example, okay? But what I like of this example that you are showing is that you're starting to make something that sounds good, that sounds musical, okay? And that is pretty good because this one, if you make it with a P parallel, with the piano channels making, I don't know, very basic chords, but your chords are also based on this parallel and sequential and random, you're going to start to make a interesting material. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, we have 8 more minutes. So I don't know if we have time. Is anybody want to share something else? Or maybe yes, maybe not. Otherwise, yes, Fernanda, Omar. Okay, has anybody in the class, has any other teacher has given extra credit to the people that has the cameras on? Do you think that's a possibility? I may do it. Okay, I'm gonna ask Eric if that is something that I can do, and if that is the case, I will do something like that because I need to see your faces to understand if you are sleeping, if you have questions, if you are excited, and so on. Okay. Does anybody want to show the code? No? No. Okay. So if nobody says me, then what I want you to do is exactly what you did right now, but now with two channels. One channel for the drums and one channel for the piano. Maybe you can download a bass if you want, and then we start to work also with the bass, okay? That could be an option. But what I want is that we can listen the works of everybody. And if that is the case, we have to be sure that we all have the same instruments, okay? We need to guarantee that we have the same instruments. So what about if just for fun, it is called Spitfire, right? It's Spitfire audio. So let's see if we have another bass. Do we have anybody working with these things? Bass guitar? No. Anybody? Charango? No. Frozen strings? No. Granular harmonics? Mandolin? Handbells? Modular piano? Monochord? Music box? Monk guitar? Pedal pads? What is pedal pads? Piano pads? Pipe organ? Piano? Strings? Soft piano? Scary strings? Synth pads, synth strings, whirly, tundra, and trumpet, and textural pads. What is pedal pads? It's kind of huge. Organic textures? No. Monochord? No. London anthems? No. Frozen strings? Amplified cello? Bass guitar? Do you think this is a bass guitar? Yeah, bass. Did you want? Wait, it's as big as the other one. Okay, so what about if we do it with the, please help me with something that we could have for the bass. Well, yes, pedal pads, okay? Please install pedal pads, and with piano, pedal pads, and drums, try to make a composition that has sections. This is an important situation. Please have sections, okay, that are repeating in different contexts. Something that repeats 3 times and then 1 time, just exactly what we just saw that that Ricardo did, but in different instruments, with different instruments, okay? If you want to do it, well, not if you want to do it, but please do it. It should last not long, because it's very easy to make something times 10, times 10, times 10, and then you can have something that is 10 minutes long without any problem. It should be at actually 2 minutes. It's the longest that you can make, but it should have a lot of changes inside, okay? And another thing, try to think extremely minimal, very minimalistic in the sense of the code. Don't do a P bind for a note, and then another P bind for, and then another for, and then you have Cielito Lindo made of 54 P binds that are fixed. The nice thing of this way of thinking the music is that you should encompass transformations, variations of a minimal material, okay? Try to make the idea is try to make a code really short that maximizes the variations, that becomes very human, in avoid the random in any line. If you put random, it's gonna be kind of not very interesting at the end, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, well, yes, as you mentioned, today we cover a lot of material because we are introducing a full context. The people that took the class audio programming with me, did we saw patterns? I don't remember if with your generation we saw patterns. Aldo? Omar?
Yes.
Okay, so I think that is a good starting point. So what we are doing is this now with MIDI, and that could give us a more interesting material. Okay. I'm going to share the code and then I'm going to open the assignment and I will upload the recording. And if you have questions, let me know. And thanks for having this extremely long class, 4 hours long. We still have another 2 like these ones, which is crazy. But we have a lot of breaks. We had a 2 break of 15 minutes, which is kind of, maybe if you want to have it a little bit longer or you want to have 2 breaks, we can do it also. I saw in your faces kind of you are really tired or you are extremely bored or you are extremely tired. If you are extremely tired, let me know. And if you are extremely confused, also let me know. Yes? Good. But what I want to explain with this, just to finishing, is that with this technique, working with this, I think we are gonna achieve some musical, complex musical materials in a very nice way. Do you know Music for 18 Instruments by Steve Reich? No? You have another assignment. How can you, do you have Spotify? Anybody with Spotify? Let me see. But you know Steve Reich? No? I want you to hear, how can I search in okay. Music for 18 instruments. Let's see. How can I share it? I guess I can share it with this old person or this. How can I share a CD on? Okay, it's here. Let's copy. Another assignment, kind of long, but not boring. I want you to reserve 1 hour of your life to listen this piece from beginning to the end, okay? Without doing anything else. Just don't have a screen in front of you. Don't have your cell phone in front of you. I just want to sit and listen this piece from the beginning to the end and draw by hand kind of the structure of what you are listening. I'm going to share my screen one more time, just very quickly. Okay. I think that I can annotate here. I want you to, how can I draw? Yeah, I'm using, I prefer to use my other, how can I, I cannot have a window. Oh yeah, I think I can do have a window. Give me just 1 second, please. I apologize for this. I want you to, okay, like this one. Forget about the things that I have here. I'm drawing here. I want you to start to listen and then start to saying, okay, this is a musical idea. This musical idea is repeating a lot of times, okay? Suddenly there is a change. Suddenly in the future, we are making a reference to this idea. These little details of the voices that were here are starting to happen in here in a more presence way. I don't want you to go back. I don't want you to put pauses. This is just for you to keep the attention, okay? You just put play, you turn off your lights, you get a piece of pen and paper. I don't want you to draw on the screen, and I want you to hear the piece from beginning to the end and just take notes. Take notes of what you are listening. I'm not saying about mod, I mean, draw, make a graphical score, forget about the details, forget about anything. I just want you to wiggle and then say, okay, this, a break here, and then a repetition, and then it seems that it's going to be over, and this is very soft, and here there was a surprise, and this is something with a saxophone, and these are the voices. I don't want you to pause. This is just an excuse. Drawing is just an excuse for keeping the attention, okay? listen the piece from beginning to the end. You cannot pause. The piece is 1 hour long, okay? Maybe with headphones to close the door of your room. And this is a mystical experience, okay? If you take pause, you break the magic. If you open your cell phone, you break the magic, okay? It's 1 hour long. It requires concentration, okay? I hope you enjoy it. And I hope that piece changed your life forever, okay? See you then.
Thank you.
Have a good day, Professor. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, teacher.
Thank you, teacher.
See you.
Thank you, teacher.
Chao, Omar. Digo, Omar, perdón. See you, Omar. Say bye.